Well, the Thunder are into the NBA Finals with a crushing 124-94 win over the Timberwolves. It was never in doubt. We'll have more on them coming up in a few minutes. But Anthony Edwards is someone who the last couple of nights, boy, we've really been rough on, and rightfully so, because for the superstar he's positioning himself to be, for the hype that he's been given from former athletes and pundits, the guy doesn't show up a lot. And he doesn't show up enough in big series, and the Timberwolves are going home. Didn't show up in game one, didn't show up in the previous game, and that's a problem, right? If you're the face of the league, which he's not, but if you're going to be the face league, you have to show up in every playoff game, and he doesn't. And part of it is, it's a really big thing, and I know, all the criticism we've had in the last couple of nights, but now I want to help a little bit. Because I'm about that. I'm about that positivity.
You're about the positivity?
Yeah,
okay, but because first off, it was just the step up in class.
Yeah.
Right? You got the victory lap after beating the Lakers. Mm-hmm. You take down the Warriors. Well, degree of difficulty, a lot of arguments about it. Steph Curry unavailable. No big man that you have to worry about or swarming defense for the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. We can all stipulate to that. Here, an attacking squad 8-9 deep that all come at you from all angles. I believe on the radio broadcast at some point they go, I think he's got 10 hands in his face.
Now, you've heard him say after the game the other night, I don't look like it as I struggled. I didn't get shot. They didn't let me get shots, which is, dude, you have to find the shots. You have to find the way to impact the game.
He made the basketball play, Jason.
And he wouldn't take any responsibility for it, which is not what stars do. Now, I was thinking about this after Rick Bucher said this last night on the show about Anthony Edwards, which may be the most damning thing about Edwards to this point. Now, here's one of the reasons why Rick Bucher told us why Edwards sometimes tends to struggle in situations like this.
Like, sometimes he can't read the defense. He needs Dante DiVincenzo to tell him what the defense is doing and how they're playing. Like, that is the most alarming admission by a star player that I can recall ever hearing in my life. I mean, we're comparing this guy to Michael Jordan, and he can't read defenses. And if you can't read the defense, and the floor looks muddy, you're going to be tentative. You're going to not be sure of where you can go. And if you can't score from the mid range, then all you're looking for is there a path for me to get to the rim? And if there isn't, again, that's what's going to make a guy hesitant or tentative.
Now, huge deal, right? That's a huge deal. I can't read the defenses. Dante DiVincenzo, I tell him what's going on. This is what Anthony Edwards needs, okay? This is where he needs a Hall of Famer who cares about the game, who cares about him, someone like Shaq, because Shaq can really say from personally, to sit down with him in the offseason and say, you need to do more. You need to do more if you're really going to do something in this league. Because Shaq can say, because at different points where Shaq at the point in his career, hey, I had fun the first few years. I was in movies. Everything was great. But then I knew my legacy was at stake. So I knew I had to get someplace else other than Orlando. And I had to, get with a team where we were going to win. The business was about winning championships. And look, I went and I won 3 with the Lakers. I won 1 more with the Heat. Shaq, Hall of Famer, needs to sit Anthony Edwards down and say, you can't just exist on what you do. If you have trouble reading the defenses, guess what? You got to get in the film and understand. You got to have coaches explain things to you. You have to, the light switch has to go on for you to go that, everybody has a lot of talent, but eventually if you want to be one of the all-time greats, you got to bring something else to the party. And you need to take this off season to say, how do I become the best version of myself and not be someone who can go out there and either not know what I see and be tentative and then not take responsibility for it. He needs that sit down from someone he'll listen to that will say, look, this is your legacy. This is your life, your career. This is what you need to do if you really want to be that next level guy. And hopefully Anthony Edwards listens. And in 5 years, there's a big ESPN story about how, a conversation I had with Shaq after the Western Conference Finals in 2025 really set me on the right path. I'm hoping that's what we get.
Well, it's a conversation we've had numerous times, you and I, over the years as related to athletes translating their skill sets into the NFL, right? And certainly in these kind of terms, when you're looking at the quarterback position where you have all-world athletes, you've dominated, or refining your skills as a cornerback, as a wide receiver, whatever. I mean, there's a different level to it and nuance to separate good and athletic to becoming great and consistently great, right? The Kyler Murray example always comes up. Yeah, take your shots about the video games, whatever, but this is a guy where everything came easy, right? You're a Heisman winner. You're a top draft pick in baseball, and then all of a sudden it becomes I've got to spend extra time in the film room, and I've got to spend extra time communicating with the wide receivers in a rotating group of them, right, and trying to get that consistency of delivery and timing, etc. Same thing on the NBA side for Anthony Edwards here is, it's going to be a revolving door of teammates. We certainly see that year to year, the way the salary cap works and guys trying to get paid in trades and everything else. But it's also you can't just rely on the brute strength of what you were when you were drafted into the league. There's got to be an evolution to it. Tonight would have been a great example of it, right? He tried to affect the game, but it was all on drives to the hoop. And if you're not getting a call,
but
you're not going to the
foul. It's not every game. It's a couple
Right.
of times a series where, dude, this is killing you. It's killing your team.
But he's 1 of 7 from three-point range. You can look at the shot chart. Consistently hitting from the outside isn't there. The mid-range isn't there. It's predicated a lot on getting to the rack and affecting the game that way. You've got to evolve, expand it.
He needs that conversation with a Hall of Famer, and that will do him a world of good.
I'll buy the cameo.